Hey guys, it's Dr. Ashley here from Head to Toe Spine and Sport, and today I want to spend some time addressing a few key and unique obstacles that are presented to female athletes who are participating in sports, and multiple sports for that matter. There are inherent differences between the female athlete and the male athlete, and today I want to spend some time addressing a few of those obstacles for teens, our adolescents out there, and also for our high school athletes. So the first thing I wanted to touch upon was growth spurt. Generally speaking, female athletes kind of reach their peak height and also experience their growth spurt a lot earlier than male athletes do. Coming from personal experience, I reached my maximal height when I was in the 8th grade. And so the speed of development and the speed of growth versus the short amount of time that happens within can also pose a really serious threat for our younger developing athletes out there. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, especially when it comes to aches and pains that our younger ones are experiencing, especially in the lower extremities, in the hips, in the knees. So again, something to be very aware of. The second thing I wanted to talk about was hormones. Males and females obviously were made up of hormones. Estrogen for the girls, testosterone for the boys, just to keep it simple. And so when our female athletes are developing and growing, our estrogen levels are a lot higher, and that puts us at a risk for higher ligamentous laxity, meaning that our joints are a lot looser. So if you ever see, our taller high school athletes, teenage athletes out there who just look a little long and lanky, their bodies are going to take a lot more strength and stability to really try to stiffen those muscles up. On top of that, estrogen can contribute to less lean muscle mass and also higher body fat content. And so for our younger athletes out there who are participating in high levels of sport and don't have too much instruction on diet, too much instruction on form and function, things like that, that can really pose really big injury risks for those guys. And specifically, if we think about like the ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament in the knee, we see that time and time again in our female athletes, whether they're torn from some trivial movement, or they're actually landing incorrectly or pushing off of their knee incorrectly, that ligamentous laxity can play a huge role in that risk. So something to keep in mind as well. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was structural differences. As I mentioned earlier, girls and boys were all built differently, and specifically for our female athletes out there, we've got smaller joint spaces, and we also have wider hips. And wider hips, that's just developmental and biological, just because females bear children. And so we need bigger hips in order to fit that baby in there. And so when female athletes are growing, those wider hips put a lot of different stresses on those ligaments and tendons in the hips, in the knees, in the ankles, in the shoulders, all different kinds of joints in the body. And so that provocative and compressive pressures on those joints can definitely play a role into risk injury. And I know we've got a lot of different sports happening these days. Basketball, soccer, volleyball, track and field is coming up. And so for our high school athletes out there, and even for our younger ones who are participating in a whole bunch of different sports, if you are experiencing any aches or pains, or if you want to learn how to bulletproof your body, I'd suggest reaching out to a healthcare practitioner or reaching out to one of our chiropractors here at the clinic, so that we can help you out and so we can help you reach that next level, and so we can help you progress further in your sport-specific endeavors. So I'm Dr. Ashley. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.